Hello, everybody. Bob Oxley here for tips, topics, issues, and positions. And today's show, we are honored to have Don Willie with us, who is the Executive Director of the Tie Center and also the SBDC Regional Director. And welcome, Don, to the Tips program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I guess my first question is pretty ignorant. In your title, it says Executive Director of the Tie Center. What is the Tie Center? What does that stand for?
I live my life in acronyms, so hopefully I don't rail off too many.
That's
today.
the way the world is today, right?
So the Tie Center stands for Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship Center.
Fantastic. And then on your regional director also of the SBDC, and that acronym stands for?
That is the Small Business Development Center.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, listeners and viewers, you understand that now because of my ignorance just showed through again here. I'm welcome to the show. I know you are extremely busy. I've had the opportunity to work with you on a steering committee and a few other events, and I know how busy you are. So for you to take time out of your busy schedule to spend with us is just great. The reason you're here is I'm getting a lot of inquiries from the audience. They hear about this Innovation Plaza at Dixie State University. And not only from the students, faculty, and staff and administration here at Dixie State, but also our listeners that are residents of the community of St. George and surrounding areas here in Washington County. So I thought, well, I better talk to the executive director here and get him on board and answer a few of my questions, which will really help out our listeners also. So we always start off really basic. So when we hear read in the paper or hear word of mouth about the new Innovation Plaza at Dixie State University, where is it located and how long has it been open? If it's open now, is it open? How long is it open during a day? And just give me some of the basics, and so our listeners, we can get a foundation to work from there.
Great. I'll give you some good and bad news on that front.
Okay.
The great news is it's a place that's very familiar with many residents of St. George. So it's actually, Innovation Plaza is the old East Elementary.
Oh,
okay. And it's been fun to walk people through who will point out, hey, that's, my fourth grade classroom, or kindergarten or preschool or first grade was there, and they remember their teachers and their peers from that time. And it's really fun to see them relive some of those memories as we walk through. So we're in the stage right now of renovation over at Innovation Plaza, and we're really excited about the potential as this is coming together. I know there's been a lot of hype in the community. We've heard a lot about it, but what is it, right?
Exactly. That's why you're here. And I'm getting that same feedback. I'm getting people saying, would you please put a show together? I'm reading about this. I'm excited about it, but where is it? What is it? And who's eligible to partake in the activities there, and so that's why you're here. Yeah,
well, a lot of really fun components are coming together, and this is a lot of heavy lifting from many people here at the university and through the community. I think one thing that's important to know is this is a convergence of academics and business and ideas coming together to collide and to create new concepts that can either be spun out into a business model and create a business out of it. So it could be a student, a community member, and a faculty, staff. Anyone can utilize a facility.
So it's open to the community. You don't have to be a student or a member of the faculty, administration, staff. You actually could be somebody that's a resident of St. George or Washington County and just contact your staff and saying, I have an idea.
Yeah, so once we open, anyone in the community, and that's something that's unique about our space as opposed to other spaces like it throughout the nation, is that many of them are secluded. And so you've got either this is just for faculty and staff, or this is just for students, or this is just for the community. But there are very, very few that actually say, let's take all of those individuals and the brilliant ideas that they're developing, let's put them all in one facility and let those collisions happen and let that networking happen.
This is exciting. This is really exciting. So physically, it's located East Elementary. That's off of University Boulevard. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's
just in the shadows of the stadium.
Okay.
So,
so is that operational now?
So Innovation Plaza, it's being used for some aspects of the Thai Center. Let me kind of run down the different pieces
That would
of
be
Innovation
great.
Plaza.
Thank you.
What is operational, what is not. So in the facility itself right now, we have a few offices that are meeting there. We have the Success Academy, which is a charter high school focused on STEM, and they meet there in some of the rooms to help develop a pipeline where this really is exposing everyone in the community to what will be coming into Innovation Plaza. So there is definitely an academic component there. Center for Teaching and Learning, Dixie Online will have touch points and offices in the facility itself. And so we'll have faculty and staff coming over to be able to engage and develop professionally through those opportunities. The other component, which really falls under the Thai Center, is about business development and prototyping and idea creation. So we are renovating right now. We're in phase 1 of the renovations on the makerspace itself, and that's a print and prototype lab where we'll have everything from a 3D printer to a sewing machine to quilting machines to laser cutters that all are open to the community, and there will be a small fee to use that equipment, but we're grateful to the Economic Development Administration for a grant that we received, and to a common name, I would say, is Lindsay Atwood, who is a donor.
Wow.
And Innovation Plaza at the State of the University, it was announced that the building will be known as the Atwood Innovation Plaza.
Okay, so now it's called the Atwood Innovation Plaza. Mm-hmm. So listeners out there, if you're going to say it right, Atwood Innovation Plaza, Dixie State University. Fantastic. Okay.
And we're honored to name it after him and his family, because of the commitment that Trustee Atwood has to this university, and that he's put money where his mouth is.
That's right.
He's a successful entrepreneur himself, and he said, we need to generate an entrepreneurial spirit in this community, and that's really what we're driving here at Innovation Plaza.
Fantastic. So let me just give you a couple scenarios and see how this plays with you. I'm not a student, nor am I a member of the faculty of Dixie State University. I'm a resident of St. George, Utah, and I have this idea, and I have no business experience, but I have this idea that I think would be of interest. So can you walk me through, what do I do first, second, third? Do I pick up the phone and contact one member of your staff and saying, I've got this idea, I'm not a student, I'm not a member of the faculty or administration, but I'm a resident of St. George. So what happens then?
So first and foremost, in that scenario, you've got a home at Innovation Plaza.
Wow.
And we're really excited to not just have a makerspace, which is currently under renovation, and we expect to be operational as of January 1, 2019. Okay. But it will be a one-stop shop. So for someone who has an idea, or even if they don't have an idea, come to Innovation Plaza and meet with one of the counselors at the Business Resource Center that we have here. The Business Resource Center is the umbrella organization for the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, PTAC, which is a government contracting office, so they support businesses in securing a government contract, which can be a huge benefit.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The SCORE office, which is business mentoring of retired professionals that come in and put their arm around a young bustling business and help them guide through. And then USTAR, which is the Utah Science, Technology, and Research Initiative. Those are the core partners of the Business Resource Center. And so you come in with an idea, and we'll sit down with you and we'll flesh it out. We'll help you develop a business plan. We'll help you file for any license that you would need for your business, as well as the state registration for a business. So there's a very technical aspect of this where, you're not just going to come in and throw some ideas around and then walk out of the building. We're actually going to sit down and throw the ideas around and watch them stick. And
fantastic. So in other words, it's like hiring a complete consulting team just for my idea. That's amazing.
And we'll be there to be a support, a guide to you. So we'll help on the technical aspects. We'll help on some of the soft aspects as well, even down to helping you secure funding through traditional sources and sometimes non-traditional sources as well.
Okay, now I can hear some of my listeners saying, okay, Oxley set this up. Now, the next question is, what is it going to cost me to do this?
So all of the services that are offered through the Business Resource Center are free of charge. We don't charge for any of those. So any of the consulting we do it at no cost, because we want to make sure that everyone in our community has an opportunity to register their business and launch a business. And so there's definitely some skin in the game. So we're not going to pay for a state registration. You've got to pay for that $70 for an LLC or for other registrations. That's on you. But we will be the ones to guide you, and we'll do it all for free.
This is even better than I assumed. I'm not kidding you. This is just fantastic. And the people I've talked with that encouraged me to invite you here to talk about the Innovation Plaza. This is even better because I couldn't give them any answers. I couldn't give them I didn't know if there was a fee. I had no idea, but this is absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's take it. So that what you're saying is this: in the Innovation Plaza is open literally to everybody in Washington County, everybody, a member of the Dixie staff, administration, faculty, students. Can you walk me through? Just give me a scenario as to a specific, like if, for instance, if you decided, if you, the consulting group, decide, well, let's make a prototype of this and using your 3D printer to do that, does the business person with the idea, do they pay for the utilization of those facilities? Okay.
So as we'll meet with clients, and they come in at every stage of business, right? Some come in and say, I've got a little bit of money. I've always wanted to own a business. So what can I do? And, if they were interested in franchising, we'll help them with that. If they just want to do something completely different, we'll just bounce ideas until they find something that works, right? So at any stage, they can come in, and then we'll guide them through this process. And when it's appropriate, we'll then help them navigate the makerspace where they can go and prototype. And we'll have woodworking equipment and 3D printers, like I mentioned, laser cutters, CNC. I mean, we've got almost $800,000 in equipment. Again, because of the generosity of Trustee Atwood and the EDA, to be able to provide state-of-the-art equipment, even having medical-grade 3D printers in the lab.
Oh, my gosh.
And so a community member could come in, and they'll pay a subscription fee, so it's not going to be per use of machine, but they can come in for a day and pay a small fee, or a month, or even if they just want to have access for a year, and they'll get an access card. They can come in as they're trained on the equipment, then they can utilize it. And that covers the cost for us for all the supplies associated. And so they can come in and utilize that and experiment and tinker and come up with something. And then we help them.
This seems like it's too good to be true, Don. Honestly, this is just like, when I was younger, I could have taken advantage of this situation. This is absolutely wonderful. What happens if your great idea, your help, and it takes off, okay, and we're looking at a patent? Is there a contract between the Innovation Center and the individual? It's applied for a patent pending, and all of a sudden they've got the patent, and this particular item has taken off. Is there any exposure on the part of the individual?
Well, let me kind of separate this and say that there are some adjustments that are being made in some of the university policy that apply to faculty and staff, and so that's I'll defer on that front. What I'll talk about are community members and even students that can utilize the facility. At the end of the day, we would love for those utilizing the space to be able to give back to the university in some form or fashion. And so if they choose, as their business takes off, to donate and provide the same experience back to others that they received, we would love to see that happen, but there's no obligation.
There is no obligation. Now, the reason I asked that question is because some of our listeners had heard a rumor that because they're outside of the Dixie State University community, outside of the community, that there would be some sort of a contractual split on the success, a percentage going, and you just resolve that
Yeah.
myth.
So let's say that I come up with a new microphone, right? And I prototype it. I launch a business out of there. I've done all of the research as a just everyday Joe, and just utilize the facility. That they're not under an obligation to give a percentage of their company. This is a community space again, and we want it to be seen as such. And if they choose that they want to give back, and maybe that includes a share of the company or just a one-time donation to the university, we would welcome that. Obviously, I mean, we want to be able to expand this, and the reason why we can offer so many services at a rate that is affordable and free for those business resource center services is because of the generous donations of those that see the opportunity here. So we hope that we get the pay it forward mentality,
Like Trustee Atwood.
Yeah. So we hope
Wow.
that pay it forward mentality plays, and we just can continue to grow this and expand the services. I mean, we would love to expand the makerspace beyond what it's at, because we've got so many people coming in to utilize it.
I can see that happening. I can see that. I'm thinking to myself 3-4 years from now that we're going to be busting at the seams because the word's out, the quality of the help that's available. And we wanted to see the St. George, Washington County area explode. And that coincides with the projection of population increase projections. And here you are setting up and for people with ideas, and so they can stand on their own 2 feet and move forward. And here Dixie State University is involved with that effort. Wow, what a positive thing. And just think of word of mouth. When those people are fortunate that their ideas take off. And where did you get the help from? What a story to tell.
That's amazing.
Wow, it is. It is amazing. Okay. Now, let me ask a couple questions about yourself. Okay. You are, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm kind of prejudiced because I know you. You seem to have the Midas touch, as they say. When you're looking at grants and applying for things, it seems like the way you put these together, that both the federal and the state government kind of like say, it's Don Willie, here he comes again. And it just seems to move so slow, and we're getting awarded large sums of grants to help us forward. Where did you get this? I know this. People out there saying, "Where does this guy learn all? Where did you get this training from? Where did this expertise come from?" I mean, not that I'm complaining. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Where did you come from, and how did this all happen?
Well, let me first give credit where credit is due. Obviously, this is a monumental effort, and so there are a lot of people that are putting a lot of time and energy, and so no one gets the glory and the fame individually. It's definitely a community effort, and really the driver behind the initial grant that we received with the match from Trustee Atwood is Dean Kyle Wells in the business school, and the time and effort that he put into writing the grant and revising the grant and meeting with EDA really, I think, needs to be recognized as something, as the driver for this. I mean, that really creates the opportunity for Innovation Plaza to take off. And subsequently, we've received a second EDA grant that designates us as a university center, ironically in partnership with our good friends up north.
Yeah, that starts with an S, I think.
I got to be careful what I say, right? But we're thrilled to be able to partner with them and be designated. And this is a competition that was open to the entire Western region. I was on a call yesterday and really just realized how prestigious this is. It was in competition with our flagship institution, other larger institutions, and yet we were selected to be able to lead out with that grant. And then just a few weeks ago, we were selected as a top 10 finalist for the American Dream Ideas Challenge, which is $1 million grant that will help us implement strategies to raise the middle class in Utah.
That is fantastic.
And so really it's one of those times where you just feel like everything falls into place. And I think it's mainly, if I can attribute it to a dream team that we've assembled and we're continuing to assemble here at Dixie State University, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I've got a background in grant writing and management. By no means was I formally trained in it, but I think when you just have the right idea and the right intentions, and you can articulate that, that's these individuals who are reviewing the grants, they see that. They can see the energy, they can see the momentum, and definitely, I mean, it goes back to the groundwork that's already been laid with Trustee Atwood, with Dean Wells, with Dean Pedersen, many others on the campus here. Of course, the provost and president leading that. When these ideas are submitted to others to consider, they look at it and say, "Yeah, this is brilliant. We need to implement this. We need to fund this. We need this to happen."
I can attest to that. I had the pleasure of sitting in on one of your steering committees, and I just fell right into the trap along the quality of the people sitting around that table and the ideas and the encouragement to be innovative in our thinking, think outside the box. To achieve the goals. It was an amazing experience for me personally. I really I could see why you're successful and your staff and like you said, Dr. Wells and everybody involved. It seems like it truly is an effort. And I remember that President Williams said he wanted this university to be the community's university. And this is just another one of those key steps that opens up the doors and makes things available to all of the citizens of our area and take a utilization of the Innovation Plaza. Okay. So you're trying to be humble and you won't say that I'm the greatest grant writer in the world, so I'll go along with that.
I just get worried that I'll have to write more grants.
read about, every once in a while when I see these $1 million grants being awarded, I see your name there, so... but you're just that way. I know that. I'm putting you on, obviously. The student body themselves, okay, are they? I don't see it. I'm teaching, and I don't see it. Is it because we're waiting for it to become fully operational? The Innovation Plaza will become fully operational in January 2019. I'm assuming there's a lot of students that have some great ideas, and this is a great opportunity for them, but we're not really promoting it a lot. We're making everybody aware of it, and it's just because we're just waiting for it to be fully operational. Is that what your game plan is?
That's exactly it. I mean, we want everyone to know what's coming, but there's no reason to wait with a business idea until January, right? There's a lot of prep work that happens in conversation and establishing an entity that we can do right now. And of course, the Business Resource Center is operational. We're in North Burns with all those great counselors and partners that we can sit down with individuals. And I worked with probably 4 or 5 students in the last week, and great. 3 of them are filed as corporations now with the state. So, I mean, we're working hard to help these ideas come to fruition. We do have some equipment that's operational in the business school that students and faculty can use. We have a room that's the TIE Center room right now before we make that transition and expand, of course, substantially. But we can help right now, and listeners can they can head to southernutahbusiness.org for a full menu of all those services that we have now. And as we get closer to the launch of Innovation Plaza, we'll roll out a new website actually that will have all the details that the community needs to be able to sign up, engage, and participate in all those services.
That is absolutely fantastic. So the clock's ticking, and we're counting down to January 2019. That's going to be the launch. And is the website going to be put out sometime in January then? And
we'll actually launch the website in December.
In December, here we go.
Yeah, so we can start seeing. So some of the equipment will start getting installed in early December. This is, it's a learning curve for a lot of people, and so we want to be open and transparent. But it takes quite a bit of time to get the equipment up and running and to calibrate it so that when a community member comes in, they're not having to deal with glitches in the technology.
Frustrating experiences, in other words.
Exactly.
As smooth as possible.
So we want to take the time to make sure everything is up and running, operational, running smoothly before we open it to the public. So we can just hit the ground running and get that prototyping going quickly.
As usual, Don, it sounds to me like you and your entire staff and everybody involved with this Innovation Plaza, Atkins Innovation Plaza, excuse me, I have to get that straight now. You're thinking through everything as usual. You're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, and you're trying to make this as much a positive experience as possible. and you're taking. I'm just thinking how wonderful this is. Somebody with an idea that has no business experience can walk into the Plaza, and you can take them from A to becoming a corporation or an LLC, and their idea becomes fruition. It becomes reality. What an amazing thing.
Yeah.
What an amazing, just think about that. What an amazing thing that you have put together, and along with, like I said, Dr. Wiles and a number of other people on this campus. And this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted the community to feel part of Dixie State and vice versa. So is there anything else you want to add to our listeners?
I'll just say this, and it dovetails in what your comment was. We want this to be a transformative experience for anyone that comes into the facility. We have limitations, obviously, and we can only do so much. We get a lot of people that come in and, they want a grant to start a business, and there are very few out there that we can point them to. But we want to do whatever we can to help anyone in this community to launch a business. I mean, it gives them a sense of pride. It gives them ownership. It can raise the standard of living for their entire family for generations to come. And so we take a lot of pride in what we do, and it's a heavy burden. It's a weight on us, right? We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can. And so we commit to that we want this to be a transformative experience. We want to give access to as many individuals to utilize everything that we have in that facility. So we're as excited as everyone else to open those doors. I know it's a little bit of a longer wait than we would have wanted, but we're excited that in January we'll be able to open those doors.
Not that far off.
Welcome the community in.
Oh, this is just fantastic. Well, I hate to say that my technician is just giving me an indication saying, I told you the time would fly by.
It goes quick.
I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule. Obviously, the listeners and the viewers can understand how busy you are, thinking about everything that you're involved with as far as Innovation Plaza is concerned, and getting the whole program operational by January of 2019. I want to thank you once again on behalf of the listeners and the viewing audience for coming and taking time out of that schedule. Don Willie, ladies and gentlemen, was a wonderful discussion. You've answered a lot of questions, dispelled a lot of myths, so I'm glad we're moving forward. And if you'd have to be numb not to understand and to be excited about the opportunities that if you have a great idea, there's a place to go now to make that a reality. And it's the the Atkins Innovation Plaza. Atwood Innovation Plaza. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another show. This has been another tip show. This is Bob Oxley. You can listen to this show at 3 p.m. on Friday on KDXI 100.3 FM and rebroadcast at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday on KDXI 100.3 FM. Or if you want to see Don's great-looking face and put up with the old man, Bob Oxley, on this end, you can look at us at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and our podcast affiliate, Podbean. Until next week, this is Bob Oxley signing off, and please have a great day. Goodbye now.